Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
This is the Cinereelists, episode 591. My name is Kyle.
My name is James.
And my name is Zach.
And we're here to talk movies, movie lists, and movie obsession for the next hour or so. This might be the weirdest episode we've recorded yet.
Well, this is the second one we've recorded in a car.
In a moving car?
No, first one in a moving car.
Okay.
Zach and I recorded in a car in a parking lot. Remember that? In Winter Park?
Oh, yeah.
And the police thought we were making out in the car or something. They came and knocked on the window while we were recording.
They came to check on us.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
it was sweet of them, really.
We just got done with a drive-in movie, seeing Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Right.
and we are in the car driving back from the movie, recording live. As these are instant reactions, I would say, right?
About as instant as I get.
Okay.
I would guess. But where did we see the movie?
Oh, we're
I
in
think
Georgia.
that's good context.
Sure, we're in Georgia.
Georgia, in an ideal viewing experience, right?
This was maybe one of the better cinema experiences I've ever had. No, we were at a drive-in movie theater. So you're going to get people turning their lights on. You're going to get audio issues.
Right.
You get a nice, just, your screen's a board painted white.
Yep.
Yeah, the audio kept cutting in and out throughout the entire movie. I don't think it ever was a big issue. I don't think I missed too much, but it was definitely noticeable.
I mean, you don't think there's enough exposition in this movie to catch you up with everything that was going on?
I want to say on the outside, this is going to be a spoiler discussion. So I don't know how much we'll actually spoil, but we're just not going to be concerned about spoilers during this conversation. So if you don't want to hear them, don't listen.
Yep.
So, James, you want to play a trailer at this point?
Yeah, let's play a clip.
Okay.
Ethan, I understand you're upset.
I'm not upset. You wanted me to listen. This is me listening.
This mission is gonna cost you dearly. And the world's gonna be coming after you.
That was Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, I think. I'm going to do this from memory. It's a action, adventure, spy film.
Yeah.
Directed by Christopher McQuarrie, also written by him and some other guy that I don't remember. And starring Tom Cruise, Vanessa Kirby, Jessica Ferguson,
Rebecca Ferguson,
Ving Rhames,
Simon Pegg,
Haley
Atwell,
Okay.
Palm Clementif Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's who that was.
That's who that was.
I knew I recognized her. I just
Yeah.
could not place it at all.
Shea Wiggum, don't forget that guy. He
Okay.
popped in every 10 minutes just to check in on us.
Who was that guy?
He was the agent that was constantly chasing Ethan Hunt
Okay.
throughout the entire movie.
Sure.
Everywhere Ethan went, so did Shea Wiggum.
What else have we seen him in?
He's
Because I
in-
recognized him, but I couldn't tell you.
He's in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
that's
other
it?
movies too. I mean,
Oh,
he's
okay.
just been around, but
So what did you guys think of the movie? Brief thoughts, and then we'll get into it.
I mean, the action was great, but you guys are going to have to fill me in on what actually happened, because it seemed like they set up that this key was important, but nobody knows why. And then for 2.5 hours, they chased each other around trying to get the key and not revealing anything else about what's going on, essentially.
I do understand a little bit about what the key, why is the key is important to Ethan.
Okay.
That I know. I think the countries are all deluded that the key can help them.
Uh-huh.
Like they're all wrong. They don't know that they can harness the key with the key, but Ethan definitely can use it, and I think I understand how. My brief thoughts on the film is I was actually pretty disappointed with it.
Okay.
And I thought it was a ridiculous amount of exposition in a way that just stood out like a sore thumb. And it felt none of it felt new or interesting to me. Maybe because I felt like there's so much that was just done in Dial of Destiny, the Indiana Jones movie, and Fast 10, the Fast and Furious movie.
What? How so? What do you mean?
Like, okay, so in this movie they had a chase scene through a European city in a tiny car.
Oh, okay. You mean like
The action beats were the same as other
repeated.
things you
Oh
see.
yeah, and
Yeah.
in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, they have a chase scene through a European city in a tiny vehicle. And in
Right.
Fast Furious, they have a chase scene through a European city. Like, it's just,
Right, and there's been lots of train action lately.
Yep, a lot of
yeah,
trains.
For some
running
reason.
around on trains and, a tunnel's coming, quick duck.
Right.
That was in Dial of Destiny. It made this movie feel very stale for me. Kyle, what'd you think?
So action-wise, I enjoyed this movie. It didn't quite deliver the action that I've expected from the last 3 Mission Impossible movies. There was one sequence which was way more effective than I thought it was going to be. I actually liked the ending to the train sequence. As the cars were falling off the cliff, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, so did I.
I thought that was really effective and way more tense than I was expecting it to be, even though I kind of figured what the ending was going to be based on the characters involved. But like Zach said, this movie, it explains and re-explains itself so many times where a character will say, oh, this key is important because XYZ. And then a character will respond by saying, that's right, if XYZ happens, then this key must be important. and it happened multiple times throughout the movie where they just kept saying over and over again, what's at stake here? In case you missed it. And I didn't need the movie to be explained to me over and over again.
Especially since they weren't really explaining anything. They're just
Right.
like, the key's important, but nobody knows why.
Yeah, the thing about a MacGuffin is don't spend so much time on the MacGuffin.
Yeah, this is all about...
Just say it's important, and once that's,
Right.
done.
Move on.
It was also overly convoluted about who has the key and why they have the key and why we want them to have the key so then we can get the key, but then this person wants the key. But like, if you could make a drinking game out of this movie and every time they say key or entity, and you would be done. It would just, you would be
and
passed out.
Everyone's a pickpocket, so the key, like if 2 people are talking, the key will switch hands.
Right.
The
The other thing about this movie, we've seen a lot of part 1s this year so far. Like Fast 10 was a part 1.
Across the universe.
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse was a part 1. Now this one was a part 1. And this one felt like it was just a ton of setup. Like it was 2 acts of a movie. And it gave me a conclusion, and I was more satisfied with the ending to this than I was to Fast 10. But I still felt like we were just setting up the next movie for a good chunk of it. And maybe that's why it was so exposition heavy, because they were just trying to draw out time.
I want to make a comment about the way it does exposition, because once I noticed it, I couldn't stop noticing it, and it's like my least favorite possible way to do exposition is they'll have 8 people in a room and they all finish each other's sentences. It's like, let's write 3 paragraphs on describing what's going on, and then you hand out to everyone like every 6-word phrase and like what order they should say them in. And like they're all just finishing each other's thoughts as if it was like organized and choreographed.
Like it was some group think that was happening.
Yeah, and it happened in the first scene with all the heads of the secret organizations, but then it was happening with Ethan and his friends. They just all finish each other's thoughts. It's the silliest way to deliver exposition.
Yeah, that didn't really bother me.
It just kept happening.
It was more just the repeating. I don't care if people finish each other's sentences, but the repeating was kind of brutal, especially since they like slowed down in the middle.
Yeah,
it took a real long time repeating everything they had established right at the beginning.
Why do you think they did that? Why did they spend so much time re-explaining the fact that this key, whoever has the key controls like the power of the world?
Right.
I think it's because they had 2/3 of a movie, since they're going to make this spread over 2 movies.
Right.
And they had to stretch things out. So they kept having to move this key around, who had the key, explain what the key does. there's also this element where a figment or a part of Ethan's past is coming back to haunt him, and it's not connected to any of the movies whatsoever. It's this new, at least to my understanding, this is new invention. Maybe we've seen this in the past before. I don't know if you guys can know or not, but to me, this person from his past was completely new for movie 7. Did it ring a bell for any of you?
Say that again?
No, the Gabriel.
The Gabriel character.
Gabriel. Was he
Right.
in any of the other movies?
Do
Is that what you're
we
asking?
get Ethan's backstory about why he joined the IMF?
I
in any
don't
of the other
think
movies?
we've ever gotten the
I
backstory
don't think
before.
so. No,
So
not that I remember.
that was a unsatisfying element where you have Ethan's past coming to haunt him, but we know nothing about his past. We know nothing about this character, so it didn't feel like a menace whatsoever.
Yeah, that was the other thing I didn't like, and it's a common criticism of these movies, from me anyway, is that it's like never personal enough to Ethan for me. Like my favorite ones are the ones where they do kind of make it personal, or like not necessarily give him a love interest, but give him like a bigger reason to, I don't know, want to protect people other than saying I want to protect people or whatever. And in this one, I still felt like I mean, I know, spoiler alert, they kill off one of his love interests, right? Basically, is Rebecca Ferguson our love interest?
I would not call her a love interest. They seem more like peers.
Right.
And I was really happy to see her back and really sad that for the franchise that I don't think she'll be
I know
back.
you were crying. I looked over and you were, and I was touched that you could show
I
that kind of
know.
emotion in such a public space.
Yeah, please don't share that ever again. No. I like Rebecca Ferguson. I think she was a good addition to this franchise. But maybe her character has run her course and it was time to move on.
You know, lately the expectation in these movies is that there's going to be one like stunt that Tom Cruise does
Right.
that's just absolutely incredible. And in this movie, the setup was the motorcycle parachute drop thing, and it absolutely did not deliver in the same way that
No.
the other kind of stunts have in the previous movies. And we barely saw it. And you know, while I know that he like rode a motorcycle off a ramp and like did a parachute jump or whatever, this one like took footage of him doing that and then put it over on a cliff. You know, so like he's not actually riding up the cliff that we see him ride up. He's doing a controlled
No,
ramp.
it's the same cliff. They just CG'd the ramp out and made it a cliff
That's
jump.
what so, like the motorcycle's on a ramp,
Right.
but they CG'd out the ramp and put in a fake cliff,
But-
like a fake mountain lead up to the cliff.
Yeah, no
Right.
CGI. That was all.
Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
CGI. And then we don't actually see him rendezvous with the train. I was like, if they show us in real time
Him land
him
on the train.
rendezvousing on the
Yeah.
train, that would be awesome. That would be worth the price of admission. But instead we get the most ridiculous, I think it's the most ridiculous Deus Ex Machina I've ever seen in any movie.
What do you mean when he just kind of pops into the
Yeah,
car?
like she's literally about to die.
Right.
And he picks the exact right train car to pop in and knock off the guy that's about to shoot her.
Right.
That's a moving
from,
train,
from
too.
parachuting.
Right.
From parachuting to a moving train.
Yeah.
Right.
With no knowledge of what's happening inside.
Yeah.
I agree. I was hoping to see actual Tom Cruise land a parachute on top of a moving train. And we don't get that. And that was disappointing because, all right, the big stunt's on this is on camera for like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It's so short compared to like Fallout and all this crazy stunts he was doing in that one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care when he does the big stunts anyway. So,
Okay.
So that didn't bother me. I
You didn't like the skydiving one where he's like they're having a fight in the air, skydiving with those helmets. Remember that one? That was awesome.
it was
Oh,
cool.
the Halo jump he was
It's
doing?
cool.
You don't care
no,
about
I think they're cool. I just don't, get all chubbed up over it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I looked
Just
over
because-
at Kyle during that moment and he was crying. And it was,
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
Just because he does it, I think he does it for his own ego and to promote the movie.
Right.
I could care less if he does it or his stunt double does it, as far as I'm concerned, personally.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it improves the movie at all.
Well, sure. Well, no one
But
did it
he
this
didn't.
time. Yeah.
Right. I loved the train sequence, though, when they're like crawling from car to car up the train. And, you know, in this movie, they really do it. So no CG. That was really impressive.
I liked that each car was more dangerous than the previous. Like they got from one car to the next, and then that one's falling off the cliff, and one's got fire, one's got a piano, one like.
But speaking of movies that this movie reminded me of, I thought they were going to go full Jurassic Park 3 on us, but they never did.
In what sense?
You remember when the bus falls off the edge of the cliff?
You mean in Jurassic Park 2?
Is that 2?
That's 2.
That is
yes.
2. You're
It reminded
You're
me
right.
of 2. Yes.
Yes. Right? Wasn't it a bus?
It was a trailer, but
Trailer. Yeah.
the same. You're right. It was the same thing. It was.
I thought they were going to
was-
hold on, and then one car was going to like fall around them, but they never did it.
Oh, while they hold on to. Oh, kind of like in Dark Knight Rises when the plane falls around. them and
Right.
They're attached to the.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
That
yeah.
would have been cool.
It
But
had that same kind of drop off, like it's hollow underneath
Right.
them.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of the bad guy being this AI entity?
It was really boring.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, this
Like-
is why people don't do these stories, because like I'd rather have a face to put my hate towards.
Plus, the way that they would describe him is so annoying.
Him or it?
The entity.
Okay.
They'd be like, he's a parasite. He's a worm that like they use these silly metaphors. It just said like, okay, so it's an AI. Like
right.
I don't know.
Do you think it's actually an AI, or do you think there's somebody behind it and they're going to reveal that in the next movie?
I think it has to be an AI
Yeah.
because of what it's already shown to be able to do, like take out people in real time and all these things.
Okay.
Do we know why Gabriel is so connected to this AI? Was that ever explained in this movie?
Yeah, is he just a regular guy or is he some sort of like robot?
Well, no, I think he's a human. Like, I don't think he's an android.
He's
They got that scene where he's got that weird mask on,
yeah.
and he's like
Remember that on the train?
Dracula style in a.
I think it's so he could breathe because he was in a box on a train.
Oh, was that what that was? I
I-
thought he was like sucking in information, Matrix style. or
Why does he
something.
need a fancy looking thing to breathe? Why
'Cause
not
it-
just a normal?
It's more menacing. I think that's why.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think he was taking in data because he kept saying like he was like predicting what the computer told him was going to happen.
Oh, do you think that's like his data helmet from the entity?
Yeah,
Oh, that could be. I could buy that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
See,
He's such a
this is the
non-character
thing. They didn't
also.
explain anything.
Right.
It was 2.5 hours of the key is important, but we don't know why.
Well, no, we know why, because the entity.
Right.
I mean, we eventually learn why the key's important.
We do.
Yeah, it's
What?
it's in the summary. It's okay. So this is my understanding. Full spoiler now.
Okay.
My understanding is that the entity lives in that submarine.
No.
No, because didn't Carrie Elwes say that we put an AI, we hacked this submarine, we put an AI in it,
Yeah.
and then that AI evolved
Yeah.
into the entity. So they need to get to the submarine because I don't know, the
I let-
heart of it, the brain of the AI
No.
is
Can
in
I
the
explain
submarine.
it?
Please do, because that's
Okay,
what I thought was going
the
on.
entity's on everything, right?
Yeah.
It's snuck into everything. It's on every network. The entity is all around the internet.
Okay.
The original source code before it evolved, that is on the submarine.
Okay.
So if you can get to the submarine and unlock it, you can get the original source code and replace the entity with its original programming, which was not like evil.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
So it's the only where that exists that's not infected and still has the original source code. Everywhere else is the entity, there's no going back on the entity. That's my understanding of it.
Okay, so it's not broadcasting from the submarine. It's just they can get the source code from the submarine, and that can affect the entity on the greater scale.
Totally.
Oh, okay.
I think my explanation is correct, but what I don't understand is why Gabriel doesn't just destroy the key.
Do you
Right.
think he thinks he can control the entity?
No,
You know? Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't know what Gabriel wants. He wants to hurt Ethan Hunt, I guess.
Remember when he shouted, "Ethan"?
Yeah, that was an LOL moment during that movie.
Was
I-
Carrie always in any of the other movies?
I don't
Is he a
think
new
so.
addition?
I don't remember him.
No.
Because they
They-
made short work of him.
Yeah.
They have
It
a new CIA director every movie in this franchise. Zach, Gabriel was an angel in the Bible, correct?
Yeah, he's one of 2 named angels in the Bible. He's the one that announced the birth of Jesus.
Okay. Does he have any other significance?
No, just angel means messenger. So he's a messenger.
Okay.
Gabriel's a messenger of God, and Gabriel in the movie is a messenger of the entity.
At one point, Ethan referred to the entity as your God to
Right.
Gabriel. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like these movies are out of steam a little bit.
Yeah?
I don't know. This is kind of the first one where I didn't really love the last one,
Oh,
but the action was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but the story was like, okay, I'm getting kind of tired of these stories that don't really matter, really.
This felt so perfunctory to me.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, this felt like an extension of the last one where I'm just kind of like, why does any of this matter to Ethan? That's why I watch these movies. Why does it matter to Ethan? Beyond like Save the World. We've seen Save the World. Now I need Save the World plus, Ethan. The other thing is like from a box office / getting people to the movies type thing, they have definitely leaned on this movie as like this summer's Top Gun Maverick.
Right.
You know what I mean? The movie that everybody's going to go back to the theater for, and it's going to have like a month and a half, mega run, and maybe it'll make $1 billion like Maverick did. And that ain't going to happen.
No, because Oppenheimer and Barbie open next weekend.
Not only that, I just don't think this is that movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
Who is going to go back to this movie 3 times in the theater?
Right.
No one.
I might see it again in the theater.
Really?
Well,
Just because he didn't get to see it in the theater the first time.
you're right. The first time in the theater.
Are you going to go back just to see that kitchen car scene again?
Well,
You are, aren't you?
My wife wants to see this movie, so I'm gonna go back with her.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But you wanted to see the kitchen car scene.
I think the kitchen car. Oh, yeah, the Hobart does save the day, so that is the Hobart mixer. Shout out to Hobart.
Yeah.
What is a Hobart mixer?
That giant stand mixer that sits on the ground that they use for mixing flour or batter in large quantities.
How did it save the day? I don't even know what you're talking
At the in the first car, they were holding onto the Hobart, so that was the only thing that could support them. So I was like, the thing's bolted to the ground. That's not going anywhere.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I do think that the train crash and them moving through each of the cars as they're collapsing is the stunt worth seeing in this movie. That I want to see again on the big screen. I also really liked that first gunfight in the sandstorm, and I don't remember there being that many guns in a Mission Impossible movie in the past. I think this is the first time we've seen a all-out gunfight before.
I remember thinking while that was happening, like, it shot a person shooting someone else, they fall down. Someone else shooting someone else, they fall down. And you only know who's who by who's not falling down.
Right, because everybody's got their faces covered.
Yeah, in a sandstorm.
I thought it was cool looking, but it could have been in any other movie.
You're right, but
it wouldn't have.
We went back to the rave place.
I kind of like the rave.
Yeah, but we just went back. It didn't give us anything new. They went to the rave place and then had a 6-person conversation where everyone's finishing each other's sentences, explaining what the key does again. That's all it was that happened there, right?
Yeah.
Most of this movie is talking about the key when they're talking. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times they showed an animation of the key connecting. I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
You need 2 sides of the key. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know if one's real till you get the other one.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Over and over
like,
and over.
The plot points of this movie, like, what are they? They go to the airport, right? And then every other plot point until the train is they
about the
try
key.
to steal the key from the other person. And then,
Right.
I don't know.
And that's because this is not a complete movie. Right? A complete movie would be in Act 1, they get the key. In Act 2, or Act 1, they learn about the key. Act 2, they acquire the key. And then Act 3, they use the key to resolve the problem or whatever. Right?
Wow, that is not how stories work.
No?
wait, there's a problem. You need this to solve it. You get this. Now you solve it. That's
Right.
No. Act 1, they find out about the problem.
Okay.
Okay. Act 2 has 2 things in it. Act 2 has they find the key, and then just at the wrong moment they lose the key, and
Okay.
all hope is lost.
Right.
And then Act 3 is they save the day right at the end.
Okay, so this movie is Act 1 and half of Act 2.
Yeah.
Pretty
exactly.
much.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Well,
I
all
kind of
hope is-
felt like they got the key and lost the key like 5 times.
Oh, totally. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
Right.
Right.
Until they bumped into someone and someone else could pickpocket them. I don't know. This
Yeah.
movie just I loved the last one, and I really kind of loved the last 3,
Right.
Oh.
Agree.
but I was disappointed.
I don't think I've loved one since the 4th.
Oh, Ghost Protocol with Brad Bird.
Ghost Protocol was so good. And then the 5th was like kind of floated on the success of 4 for me.
Right.
And then by the time we got to 6, 7, and 8,
No, 6
No.
was the last one. This was
Okay.
7.
okay, so 6 was the first one where I was like, oh, major cracks. I'm seeing major cracks here.
I see. I disagree. I will agree with you that the plot of 6 is kind of inconsequential,
Uh-huh.
but it's followable and it's made up for by amazing action. I think that 6 has the best action of all the movies.
What are the-
Followed
what are the-
closely by 4.
What are like the major scenes?
The helicopter chase.
Yeah, there's a helicopter chase. There's him hanging from the payload at the bottom of the helicopter trying to climb onto the runs. There's that awesome fight with him and Henry Cavill in the bathroom.
That was a
I
great
did
fight.
like the bathroom
Yeah.
fight.
And this movie didn't have anything like that. Like there was definitely hand-to-hand fighting, but nothing like Henry Cavill and Ethan Hunt and another guy in a bathroom just destroying it.
Right. Yeah. I do remember that, and that
Yeah.
was good. I agree. There's not much in this one from a hand-to-hand. Oh, they had the tiny alley scene, which I couldn't see anything.
It was a cool idea, but it was shot in such a way that you couldn't really tell what was going on.
It
What was the
so-
tiny alley scene?
Remember he was stuck in the alley, and there was like person on one side and person on another, and they were like punching him in the alley.
It was like the alley was as wide as his shoulders, or as wide as one
You don't
person.
even remember this scene? Were you asleep?
I have no idea what that scene is.
It was happening at the same time that Rebecca Ferguson was fighting Gabriel. They're cross-cutting
Did you-
between those two fights.
Yeah, they were like fencing on the
on the bridge.
Yeah.
and he was in the alley.
Yeah, you couldn't see that scene.
No, it was a cool idea, but like I wanted them to do it old boy style, where it was like a cutout where you
Right.
just saw them side-scrolling, fighting back and forth.
Was there any impressive filmmaking, like beautiful shot? Like if you paused it, you're like, that is beautiful or interesting.
I thought the shot of Tom Cruise going over the edge of the cliff was pretty cool. Where like the camera follows him over, he's falling, and then the motorcycle's falling away from him. I liked that.
I think maybe I've just seen too many GoPro videos of people, normies, doing the exact same
It just
thing.
it didn't seem that like Kyle, you could do exactly that. You would crash and die at the bottom, but like everything that he did, you could have absolutely done with no practice.
Well, yeah, but the point is that he didn't crash. That's what makes it the difference in the impressiveness is
I-
not crashing and dying at the bottom.
I just feel the missing element is you don't know how to skydive.
well, yeah, just quickly learn that I can be my own Tom Cruise, no problem.
Am I the only one in this car that's skydiving?
I've skodove.
You
You
skydiving?
Skodove?
I've skodoved for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, with my wife.
Kyle, he hasn't skydived?
I have never gone skydiving.
Oh,
No,
Okay.
there was a time I wanted to, but I think maybe that had part of my life has passed.
You don't want to anymore?
I kind of want to, but there's other things I'd
Do
rather
it.
do too.
It's not even scary.
It was scary for me, but I don't like heights. So, I mean, when it was happening, it's like so out of body. But
Right.
it wasn't scary when it was happening. But when it was about to happen, it was scary for me.
I think bungee jumping would be a lot scarier.
Me too.
I think it's way
Bungee jumping
more
scares
dangerous.
me. Yeah, because I'm afraid that thing's gonna wrap around my neck and just
and
you
just
know.
decapitate you.
Yeah. I know that I've never heard of that actually happening, but for some reason I feel like I'd be the first.
I think that happens the majority of the time.
Most skydiving ends in death, or not it's bungee jumping. See, with skydiving, you have redundancy, right? And if there's something goes wrong, there is a chance to fix it and save your life. Bungee jumping, you got one bungee, and that breaks, and you're smashed at the bottom of the ravine or river, wherever you are. So
True.
there's no redundancy. I mean, there's redundancy, but there's no fallback plan.
Tom Cruise really needs to do a bungee jump in the next one.
Maybe
I'm
what
out.
if that's too dangerous for him? He's like, I won't even do that.
Do you remember how Gabriel got off the train?
Oh, how he fell backwards onto that truck?
He set a timer on his watch for the runaway train. And the second it went off, he just leaned back and fell immediately on a truck. He didn't have any forward momentum. He just like stopped moving forward and only went down on the truck.
Like he wasn't going 100 miles per hour.
He didn't even roll when he landed on the truck, just like nicely in the truck. Good to go.
But then he gave us the greatest line delivery of the movie.
What'd he say?
Ethan!
Yeah.
Just stupid.
Well, guys, we're almost home, and you know what that means.
Letterbox it.
We need to letterbox it. Out of 5 stars, what are you going to give Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 1?
Kyle?
Probably 3.5.
James?
2.5.
2.
2.
Holy crap.
Should I go down to a 3?
Yes. Absolutely, you should.
All right, I need to sit on this.
Think of other movies you gave 3.5. They had an hour less of exposition.
Ooh, there's a deer.
There's a deer. Well, I mean, I was comparing this one to Fast X, and Fast X I gave a 3, and I think I was overall more satisfied with this movie than Fast X.
Okay,
so that might be why it's a 3.5, but it might be a low 3.5. I got to sit on this one. You guys should check out my letterbox to find out my actual rating.
Remember the villain in Fast X compared to the villain in this one.
I don't remember the villain in this one already. It's played by
Gabriel.
nondescript, attractive. Oh, another deer.
There's
wow.
another deer.
Yeah, nondescript, attractive, middle-aged guy was the villain.
Yeah. We're here. We're up in Georgia.
In the woods.
We're done with the Cinerealist getaway. Is that what we were calling it?
Retreat.
The Cinerealist retreat. It's been fun. We were celebrating the birthday of both these guys. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Zach.
If you're
Happy
listening
birthday,
to
Kyle.
this, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep it Cinereal.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.